name's Shelly Koelper. I'm the owner of Paul Davis Northeast Indiana. And my path in Paul Davis started as a CFO. I was hired as the CFO by the previous owner. Several years later, I became the general manager, which led to eventually I became the owner of Paul Davis. And as of a week ago, also the owner of Paul Davis of North Central Indiana. One of the major challenges that I think we face right now is that our industry used to be a relationship-based industry. So what mattered was your responsiveness in that individual's eyes and your work product at the end of the day. But as many of you are aware, Google has made a much stronger presence. It's where people are turning oftentimes to make a decision on whether they're going to use this contractor or that contractor. And so honestly, nowadays, it's not, are you the best contractor at doing what you do, restoring homes, but are you the best contractor at creating a presence on Google and on the websites that we all use? When I reached out to Forthea about a year ago, I had two goals in mind. One, I knew I needed to get our franchise at the top on the first page of Google, and I knew we weren't in a lot of the searches. So I needed to figure out what was going to get us there, and I knew I couldn't do it, and Forthea, I was hoping, had the ability to get me there. The other thing that I was hoping to do is get there with a smart budget spend. So I'd been working on this for probably 3 to 4 years, using different vendors' assistance, and I was writing checks and I was spending money, but I wasn't really sure if I was getting a good bang for my buck, if I was spending wisely. They asked me a lot of questions that were specific to Paul Davis Fort Wayne, not specific to restoration necessarily. And then each month we meet, and each month they tell me what they did with my dollars, what my dollars has gotten me. They show me graphs, and so I could see month over month how the bars were moving higher and getting us closer and closer to the first page in a lot of areas. In 2023, I had 273 qualified leads through the Forthea campaign, and I had 44% increase in website traffic. It brought in $500,000 in new revenue that we wouldn't have otherwise have received. Another thing that it gave us is 4 times the ROI on what my marketing spend was with Forthea. I feel like what my competitors around here are doing are saying, follow Paul Davis, follow Paul Davis. So they're spending a lot of money on the Paul Davis name so that when people are Googling me, they're also popping up. One of the things that kind of was a byproduct of Forthea is they really educated me. I feel like I got a college course in SEO and pay-per-click and website, because as they were finding issues or problems, they were saying, hey, Shelly, this is what we find. This is why we think this isn't maybe the best thing, and this is why we think you should change to this. And I was listening, and I would agree with them. They were the experts. That was great for me because I didn't understand all the ins and outs, and I still don't understand, believe me. It's very confusing, but I'm learning along the way. One of the things that they've done for me that they have no idea that they did is, I'm marketed all the time by other companies, not necessarily for SEO, but just in general. My radio stations come in, my TV stations come in. They might offer me streaming and different products, and they're talking to me in more terms that I understand. So they'll say, hey, this is going to get you this many views and for this dollar. So now I can compare the views in dollars to what Forthea is doing, and I can say, I can do better. Or I actually shoot an email out to Emily and say, hey, Emily, I just got offered this. What do you think? And she might say, yeah, I really think streaming is a great option. I think you can do a better price than that. And then I can go back to my vendors and have that conversation. In this industry, I could say I want to be at water damage restoration, fire damage restoration, the words that mean something and have a meaning for someone in the restoration industry. But what we were finding with Forthea is they were watching the keywords that customers were typing into the computer. Then they were listening to the phone calls and saying, like, this is a valid customer calling us for the right reason, but these are the words they searched, and so they were adding those into my list of words. I can think of two unexpected things that I didn't really understand were going to happen. And the first one really was my website. So we're all on the corporate website. It's kind of a model that, yes, we know we can add to and sometimes take away from. But what they did is they really got into the website and analyzed what was happening to the Google bots. You know, is this really spinning way too slowly? Is there not enough meta tags on the back of these pictures? Is something confusing that Google bot so that I'm not getting the bang for my buck that the website should be giving me? And so besides really helping me in SEO, pay-per-click, and getting my name out there in the Google world, they really did help clean up my website and try to make it as efficient as possible, a little bit less uncluttered. And they taught me, again, some things along the way that I was really just assuming that the website provider for Paul Davis would have known these things and would have put their best foot forward, ensuring that we had a great site. And I think that wasn't really happening in all cases. The other thing they did was, I've been on Google LSA for years, and I've understood you can listen to the calls, you can analyze the calls, you can look inside your RMS, figure out what your ROI would have been for Google LSA. I understood all that. But Google doesn't really scream and grab your attention. My outlook for 24 is that I'm definitely going to continue to spend with Forthea. I feel like we're making great progress, and every month we're gaining that market share of that first page. Sometimes maybe the percentage of my losses might be less for a given month just because maybe it's a quiet month in restoration. But where we're really focusing is, what does Google think of Paul Davis Fort Wayne? The other thing that I'm going to do in 2024 is add my newest company into the Forthea project and have Forthea work quickly with that new company who hasn't been marketing at all. And I think the win up in that space will be even bigger than the win was for Northeast Indiana.